from Wrigley Field, where you can stop by the statue of Billy Williams, and soon Ron Santos' statue will be unveiled here at Wrigley Field as well. We're set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs go for number 7 in a row. It's the middle game of this series against the Cincinnati Reds. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs are winning them all right now. The blowouts, the close games, a one-run decision yesterday, and it was the kids who came through.
You know, Len, there's very few upsides in a season like the Cubs have had, but one of the upsides is you get a chance to glimpse the future. Certainly Starlin Castro is going to be a major part of the Cubs' future here at Wrigley Field. Tyler Colvin getting more playing time recently. He's responded well, especially with the home run. And Mr. Excitement, Tony Campana, every time he steps on the field, seems like good things happen.
And Campana not in the lineup today, but available off the bench. Same for Tyler Colvin. Going to be a tough matchup for the Cubs offense. Johnny Cueto would lead the majors in ERA, but he's a few innings short of qualifying.
Well, he's been really good, Len, since some mechanical tweaks back in May, including turning his back more toward the hitter. He has been a man on fire, including last time out, a complete game 3-hit shutout of the Giants.
And that outing against the Cubs was his season debut. Carlos Zambrano has beaten the Reds 16 times. Only Roy Oswalt has more wins against the Reds among active pitchers.
Now, 3 quality starts in his last 3 for Big Z. Strikeouts are down a little, but that's a good thing because, I mean, it keeps the pitch count down a little bit.
So Cueto for the Reds, Zambrano for the Cubs. As the Cubs go for 7 straight, we'll have the lineups, the first pitch, and all the action from the friendly confines next.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. 75 years of being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Subway. Every day at Subway, choose from many delicious regular footlong subs for just $5. Subway. Eat fresh. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today or go to shophonda.com and find great values on a new Honda. AT&T Uverse. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. It's the Cubs annual food drive for the Lakeview Pantry, the 9th annual food drive. Fans dropping off non-perishable items and receiving a 5x7 autographed photo of a Cubs player. There's a shot of Marlon Byrd and t-shirts being handed out for fans heading through the turnstiles as well. Boy, it feels like a wet blanket was draped over this ballpark. It is very humid. We got rain overnight and in the morning hours, but we're set to start on time.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, a little bit of cloud cover here on the north side today. When those brief occasions when the sun peeks through, it really ratchets up the temperature and humidity here. But going to be a sweaty one here at Wrigley Field today.
Cubs have rattled off 6 in a row after a 5-game losing streak, and the Reds keep losing ground. Season high 8.5 out of first. Well, the Pirates continue to scuffle. They got hammered last night by the Padres 15-5, so they the color guard today, represented by the police and firemen from Dixon. And great to have his son Michael throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Now Dusty Baker's Reds Southwest starting lineup. Drew Stubbs will lead it off in center. Edgar Renteria has been hot lately. Has a birthday coming up tomorrow. He'll turn 36. Votto, Phillips, Bruce in the middle. Former Cub Miguel Cairo at third. Alonso the start again in left. Ramon Hernandez homered yesterday off Kerry Wood. He catches for Johnny Cueto.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively today, brought to you by Degree. Soriano in left, Bird in center, Reed Johnson getting the nod in right field based on his numbers against Johnny Cueto. It'll be Ramirez and Castro on the left side of the infield, Darwin Barney and Carlos Pena on the right side. Giovanni Soto doing the catching today. Our Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher is right-hander Carlos Zambrano. Looking for his 9th victory of the season. Really good last time out against the Pirates. 6 innings of 7 hit ball. Gave up only 1 run. That was a solo homer by former teammate Derek Lee.
Kerwin Danley worked the 2008 World Series. And he'll be behind the plate. Paul Nart, Doug Eddings, and the crew chief Dana DeMuth are around the bases.
Carlos Zambrano not only taking the ball to pitch for the Cubs today, he's looking to continue a hitting streak. Hitting 3 straight, looking to make it 4 straight. Didn't have such good luck against the softball pitcher yesterday in a little exhibition out here for the Big Z Foundation. Having trouble making contact. Hopefully he'll do better against Johnny Cueto.
30-year-old right-hander set to work against Drew Stubbs. We want to welcome those watching on ESPN UK today, and all the men and women serving our country around the world watching on the Armed Forces Network.
Hope you're having a great day. I know we're going to have a great day here at Wrigley Field.
Cubs just 3-6 against the Reds this season. 2-2 here at Wrigley Field after the win yesterday, and a first pitch strike on Stubbs, and we're underway. That one is low and outside. Stubbs fanned 3 times yesterday to up his major league leading total to 145 punchouts. .82 degrees, very humid. The wind slightly blowing in out of the northeast at 3.
You mentioned the strikeouts for Stubbs this season. Stop me if this sounds familiar. He chases a lot of high fastballs out of the zone and breaking balls off the outside corner in the dirt.
Sounds like the Cubs' former leadoff man, Alfonso Soriano, has been in the middle of the order the last few years. The big thing for a leadoff man is always that on-base percentage. It's a subpar 327 for a guy in that spot as he strikes out. I just don't know if the long-term spot for him is going to be leadoff when you strike out as much as he does.
The conundrum is he's got great speed. He can steal a base. He's a superior defender in center field with a strong throwing arm. He's just an exaggerated free swinger in that leadoff spot. And as you said, the most important thing in that leadoff spot is the ability to get on base consistently. With the rest of this Reds offense, if Stubbs could cut down on the strikeouts, increase that on base percentage, they would score even more runs.
Fastball just missed on Edgar Renteria. He started short, pretty upright, and a closed stance in that batter's box for Renteria. The 2-1 on the way. Chopper to Starlin Castro. Lots of time. 2 down. Brings up Joey Votto, who had a 9-game hitting streak come to an end yesterday. 0 for 3. He did walk twice. Well, this is a long-standing debate about how to construct the lineup, and there's no right answer. I mean, ideally, every manager would want speed at the top, but in terms of getting on base, if you look at the Reds lineup today, Bob, it would be the catcher, Ramon Hernandez, if it's just based on who gets on base the most. Now, Votto would actually be the guy, but he's going to be in the middle of your order. But Stubbs and Renteria have struggled in getting on base.
And I think the bigger question eventually becomes, is Drew Stubbs going to be a different player moving forward, or is this what he's going to be? And some guys have strengths and weaknesses, and you'd like to think over the course of their career that they tighten up their weaknesses a little bit and improve on their strengths, but some guys just are what they are, and Drew Stubbs appears to be a guy that's going to strike out a lot. He's going to hit for tremendous power when he makes contact, and when he does get on base, he's definitely a base stealing threat, so you almost have to take the bad with the good.
Yep. 3-2 pitch, ball 4, and that's what Votto does very well. Doesn't go out of his zone that much.
At the plate, second baseman number 4, Brandon.
Takes his 78th walk, which leads the league.
And that's a tough pitch to lay off of. That slider that might have just nipped the front corner of the plate there, but too far inside in the estimation of Kerwin Danley behind the plate, and Votto becomes the Reds' first base runner of the game.
Now, saying all that about the Reds, I mean, they do score runs. They're second in the league. 523 runs scored. And in Dusty's defense, he does not have a prototypical leadoff option. You got to pick somebody to hit first.
Somebody's got to hit first.
Going back to the Lou Piniella era, he had trouble finding a guy. Right now for Mike Quade, it's generally been Starlin Castro, and he's hitting. But a very aggressive hitter, and gets on base by swinging the bat, not taking walks.
He certainly is not a new phenomenon trying to find a leadoff hitter. I think back to the California Angels when they had Brian Downing leading off. Certainly not a prototypical leadoff hitter, but a high on base percentage guy. Good base runner, but not a base stealer.
One and 2 on Phillips, and then you also talk about balance. I mean, you try to put your best hitters at the top of the order, but you don't want 6, 7, 8, 9 to all be automatic outs either. And on the hands and fouled away. There's Jay Bruce on deck. There were some who thought Felipe Alou should have had Barry Bonds be his leadoff hitter simply because it would maybe get him an extra plate appearance or two, and he was the hottest hitter in the universe. And there was a time he hit cleanup, right?
Sure.
Now, that's one where I want my best hitter to come up in the first inning, one way or the other. Votto fake towards second as Phillips tapped it foul.
Really not fair to talk about Barry Bonds and compare him to any other situation, because early in his career Bonds was arguably one of the best leadoff hitters in the game. As he worked his way down the lineup into a run producing spot, he became one of the greatest run producers in the history of the game. Well, probably not a good guy to compare other players to.
Pretty unfair, yeah. Breaking ball at 69 miles an hour is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Dempster struggled in the first, but he got out of it with no damage as he stranded 3. Had to grind through his 6 innings and got his 9th win. 3-2. Votto continues to fake towards second. This time he'll keep on going with 2 outs. And there goes Votto, and Phillips takes high. Here comes Bruce. Dempster walked 6 yesterday, tying a season high.
No, walks are never a good thing, especially with 2 outs in the inning against a power-laden lineup like the Reds. They rely heavily on the long ball. Jay Bruce with 21 on the season. He's been struggling recently, but we've seen Jay Bruce at his best. You can put a charge on it if you make a mistake.
Well, this is a part of the order. It's the main reason the Reds are where they are in terms of runs, with Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. All of them all-stars. Two and 0. Make it 3-0. Miguel Cairo is on deck. And the bases are loaded. That's 3 consecutive 2-out walks.
We've talked about it at length this year, going all the way back to the series when the Cubs played against the Phillies, and we got a real good look at Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee and their ability to consistently repeat their mechanics, pitch after pitch, inning after inning. And Big Z right now just struggling to find a release point and an arm slot that will get him back into that strike zone.
Yesterday was Todd Frazier to get the start at third. Miguel Cairo came in the 8th. He gets the start today with Scott Rowland on the disabled list. A former Cub with 998 career hits. 2 brief stints as a Cub for Cairo, 97 and again in 2000. That's, I want to say, 6 consecutive balls thrown by Z as we check out AT&T UVerse Multiview. And a strike, 1-1.
Fortunately, a strike. Usually if you've missed the zone that many pitches in a row, the umpire is going to force you to throw the ball over the plate to get a called strike. That time a borderline pitch goes Big Z's way.
1-2. struck him out. What a similar first inning to the one Ryan Dempster had yesterday as they leave him loaded. Here come the Cubs on offense. Darwin Barney back in there at second. Ramirez at third. Carlos Pena has done a lot of damage against the Reds. Marlon Byrd and Reed Johnson both with very good numbers against Johnny Cueto. They go 5 and 6. Soriano, Soto, and Zambrano at the bottom.
Take a look at the Reds defensively this afternoon. It'll be Yonder Alonso in left field. Drew Stubbs in center. Jay Bruce over in right field. Cairo and Renteria on the left side of the infield. Phillips and Votto on the right side. Ramon Hernandez once again doing the catching today for right-hander Johnny Cueto. Stellar numbers for Cueto this season. I talked about the mechanical tweaks to his delivery as you get a look at his pitch selection there. A lot of two-seam heavy sinking fastballs in the mid-90s. You saw him right there, a little misfire as he started his delivery. He's got a little bit of a Louis Tiant. Turns his back almost completely to the hitter and a slight hesitation right there before wheeling around and throwing to home plate. And he too has been struggling to repeat the mechanics, as you can imagine, trying something so drastic in your delivery. He's occasionally a little early, occasionally a little late.
Castro chops it foul. Cueto's just 25. And putting together a fantastic year. He missed the first 5 weeks of the season with biceps/triceps irritation. Made his season debut here at Wrigley on May 8th and worked 6+ scoreless innings in a 2-0 win. And with 3 1/3 innings today, and if he pitches well, he can re-qualify for the major league lead in ERA as he strikes out Castro.
And that's that heavy two-seam fastball. Just enough movement to get underneath the bat of Starlin Castro for a swinging strike 3 at 92 miles per hour. He said his last outing when he went 9 against the San Francisco Giants, he was throwing 96 in the 9th inning.
Well, nothing in this game seems to come without a price, and in terms of the deception with the exaggerated body turn, you're going to have mechanical issues. I think of a left-handed pitcher on their staff who will not pitch in this series as Renteria throws out Darwin Barney. Dontrell Willis, and his career was severely derailed by major bouts of wildness. I mean, he's as funky as it gets, but it's that funkiness that makes him effective.
Very fine line.
Yeah. The more moving parts, the better chance you're going to have issues mechanically. And not everybody can be Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee.
which for me is what makes Greg Maddux all the more amazing. I don't recall one time in his entire playing career that you ever heard Greg Maddux talk about his mechanics. It was a given. They were going to be there for him every day. He was all about pitch selection and changing speeds and adding and subtracting and pitching to situations, but you never heard him talk about his mechanics.
And Ramirez got clipped by that pitch and becomes a first base runner.
If you got to be hit by a pitch, this is the way to do it. Just caught a piece of that jersey on the way by. Didn't even deflect it enough to get it out of the mid of Ramon Hernandez, who still centers it up in that glove, but the Cubs have their first base runner of the game.
Quite like Shane Victorino getting hit right in the middle of the back last night as the Phillies and Giants cleared the benches. As Jimmy Rollins stole a base up 6 runs, and the Giants apparently didn't like it. Ramon Ramirez was on the mound, and there are going to be some suspensions out of that one.
There were 3 ejections as it was in that ball game last night. Probably more suspensions to come.
More pushing than punching. That's a strike on Carlos Pena. 1-1 the count. Phillies won that game 9-2 and have rattled off 8 in a row. And Pena gets hit.
Meat that time. Looked like it clipped him on the right side of his rib cage. Fortunately, a glancing blow, not too much damage done. That moves a runner into scoring position for Marlon Byrd with 2 outs here in the first.
Well, Zambrano walked the bases loaded with 2 outs. Will Johnny Cueto hit the bases loaded? Marlon Byrd is certainly a candidate to be hit. Ball 1. Follow all of today's stats and info in real time with Cubs in-game live only at CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Honda. We get a chance to talk to Cubs manager Mike Quade on a daily basis, and you know, he thinks through his lineups days in advance, goes over all the reports, is willing to change based on what happened the day before, as was the case when the Cubs hit 6 homers the other night in Pittsburgh. And there's some saying, well, how can Campana and Colvin not be in the lineup today? And it's a legitimate question. Well, Marlon Byrd is 5 for 8 against Cueto. Reed Johnson is 3 for 8, so you combine it, they have hit .500 against one of the toughest pitchers in the league. So that's why they're in the lineup, and Campana and Colvin are not. This will end the inning as Renteria double pumps, but still has time to get Marlon Byrd. Cueto hits 2, doesn't give up a run. No hits, 5 base runners in the first combined.
Unofficially, about 14.5 seconds. Could have been better. He hits the outside of first base right there. He does make a really good turn at second, using the base to propel himself toward third. And then once again, when he gets to third base, he hits the middle of the bag. Boy, as scary as this is to think about, he could have run that probably sub 14 seconds around the bases. But a great job by Tony Campana yesterday. Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
It was the first regular season home run of his pro career. He hit one in the playoffs last year for Tennessee at Double-A. That was an inside the Parker. The last ball that cleared the fence was with an aluminum bat in college. Well, Zambrano in the first threw 32 pitches and at 1.9 consecutive out of the zone. 1 and 2 on Yonder Alonso, who had some trouble playing that carom down in the left field corner, but a lot of veteran left fielders would have had an issue with that ball hit by Tony Campana.
Now, this is a guy the Reds are going to have to find a position for, whether it's left field, third base. You wouldn't expect it to be first base with Joey Votto over there. But we talked about him in the ball game yesterday. He puts together very professional at bats for a young major league hitter. Came out of a big time program at the University of Miami. A polished offensive player. Still needs to find a place to play defensively.
4 walks. Start the game for Z. Here comes Ramon Hernandez. And just to follow up on the Cubs lineup today, Alfonso Soriano in left. He's hit .346 with 3 home runs against Johnny Cueto. I guess the point of it is, and you've been in this spot, managers have reasons for what they do on a daily basis. You may not agree with them, which is fair, but a manager's job on a daily basis is to put his best lineup out there to try to win a ball game. And when it comes to playing the kids, which Mike Quaddy has said he will do, that's an organizational philosophy and issue, and those conversations go on all the time between the GM and the manager. But if the GM says, hey, go win a ball game today, you're not doing your job, in my opinion, if you don't put your best lineup out there.
Well, and I think a lot of fans are conceding that this is a lost season for the Cubs, and why continue to play a veteran like Reed Johnson. They're certainly well aware of what he's all about, what he brings to the table, his value to a team. Same thing for Marlon Byrd in center field and Alfonso Soriano in left field. So I think for those fans who feel that this season is lost, they want to see the kids play just to get a little more experience and get a better handle of what you have moving forward. So I can see both sides of the argument, but being a former manager, you're absolutely right. Your bottom line is try to win a ball game every day. I think the important thing is to make sure that guys like Tyler Colvin and Tony Campana today understand that just because they're not starting the ball game doesn't mean they won't have an effect on the game. We've seen Campana come in as a defensive replacement. We've seen him used as a pinch hitter and a pinch runner. Tyler Colvin swinging the power bat recently. He may have an opportunity to come up late in this game and pinch hit with the tying or winning run on base. So keep plugged in. Stay plugged into the game. You never know when you're going to be needed.
Bird in center. And he makes a catch. Lots of Cubs take on the Reds tomorrow at 1:20 here at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans get a Cubs keychain light, compliments of ComEd. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Cueto in a bunting situation here.
That has to make Dusty very happy. Cueto does not swing the bat well at all. 1 for 30 on the season when swinging away. He does have 6, looks like now 7 sacrifice bunts on the season. Perfectly executed that time by Johnny Cueto. Bunts that ball out near the end of the bat so it doesn't roll nearly as far. Pena had thoughts about going to second base right there, but chooses to take the sure out at first base, and now Big Z is going to have to deal with the top of the Reds order with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
Ball 1 to Drew Stubbs. Castro throws out Stubbs, so the leadoff walk does not come back to hurt Zambrano. Scoreless early. News and highlights at Sportsnet Central every night at 6:30, 10, 10:30, and midnight. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. The Willis Tower in town Chicago, buzzing this weekend with Cubs and the Reds. Lollapalooza. Scheduled Bears practice, but I don't think they ever did at Soldier Field. Some issues with the turf. There's a strike on Reed Johnson. I'm sure Lakeshore Drive last night around 6:30 was empty. Yeah. Smooth sailing, right?
Right.
High ball to left. And caught out there by Alonso for the out.
Yesterday was a good day to either walk or ride your bike or take public transportation. Boy, it was free parking on a lot of the streets that I saw yesterday, which happens in any major city on a Friday afternoon when there's a lot of things going on in town. Weather was just perfect yesterday. People outdoors enjoying themselves.
One and one to Soriano. The bat is fair. The ball is foul.
Late movement on that two-seam fastball. When you see a bat explode like that one did, I mean, look at that. That barrel ends up out near shortstop. I think it's more a case of the hitter not holding the bat in a proper position to take advantage of the grain of the wood. You know, ever since you were a little kid, you were always taught to make contact with the trademark pointing straight up when you make contact. That way you're hitting with the grain of the bat. It's less likely to break. When you roll that trademark around either all the way forward or all the way back, you're hitting against the grain of the bat, and it's much more likely to break, and in the case of those maple bats, explode. And Soriano uses such a heavy bat with a thin handle. It doesn't necessarily mean where you start with the bat, where the trademark is, but as you take your practice swings, if you stop where you think the point of contact will be, the trademark at that point should be pointing straight up toward the sky. I started to say, uses that big heavy barreled bat with a thin handle, and if you mishit it at all, get it down near the trademark or out toward the end a little bit with the torque that he creates with his swing, there's very little chance that bat's going to survive.
Good take. As he becomes a 7th base runner already, and we haven't seen a hit yet. 5 walks and 2 hit batters combined. Soto back in the lineup. Coy Hill rather was in there yesterday. Soto with 2 homers over his last 3 games. Pitch. Just again 2-1.
You mentioned Coy Hill catching Ryan Dempster yesterday, Len, and a lot of times we give the catcher credit when a pitcher goes out and throws a good game and holds down the opposing team's lineup. I think yesterday Coy Hill might have done some of his best work with Ryan Dempster. Dempster was very inconsistent. He had innings when he was really sharp and really good, and he had other innings where he just couldn't command anything consistently. And those are the days where your catcher can really help get you through the rough humps of the ball game, and Dempster was able to strand 8 runners in his 6 innings of work after walking 6 and giving up 4 base hits.
Double play ball, but it's dropped by Renteria. They're still going to have time. 6-4 to 3 to end the inning. Off to the 3rd. 0-0. $1.89. But you don't have to remember it to love it. Prices and participation may vary. For a limited time, a la carte only.
Hey fans, couldn't get tickets to the Cardinals series at Wrigley? Well, Cubs Destination has spots available for this highly anticipated matchup. All standard packages include great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Slider strike. Renteria.
Don't you hate it when you run out of bun before the hot dog's all gone?
Three consecutive sliders. Two have missed. Edgar hit a grand slam on Tuesday night in Houston. 295 in the second half. You don't want to face him in extra innings. According to Elias, over the last 5 years, he has hit .423 in extra innings, including 5 for 9 this year. And you know what? I don't know if it's a skill, but it doesn't surprise me because Edgar Renteria has been in the middle of a lot of pressure situations in the playoffs in his career, and he's come through as he bloops into right for the first hit of this game.
You know, I think up to a certain point, Len, it's just baseball. You know, good hitters are going to put the ball in play. Occasionally they're going to find holes. But after a while, when you consistently come through in those situations, I think it moves beyond the random. I think guys at some level look forward to those situations because they've had success in the past. They have more success, and eventually they become what we like to call clutch hitters.
Yeah, if you just asked a lot of random baseball fans, quick, who was the MVP of the World Series last year? You think they would immediately say Edgar Renteria?
No.
Well, he was. That's drilled out in the left center. Bird, however, will make the catch. Joey Votto hit it right on the screws for an out.
That ball was struck well that time. Little sinker down low and away. Votto stays right on it. Looked like it was headed for that gap in left center, but Marlon Byrd closed ground quickly, able to make the catch on his feet.
You could see on that slow-mo replay just how Joey Votto can really slow things down. Think about how little time you have as a hitter to react, but he took that pitch right where it was delivered and almost hit a double. In the hole, and Castro will throw to second. A little late, according to Doug Eddings. It was close. It'll be a hit for Brandon Phillips. Great play by Castro just to get a glove on it.
I thought sure that ball was headed for the left field and a clean single, but Castro, much like Marlon Byrd, closed ground quickly at the very end, got off a strong, accurate throw to Darwin Barney. Not sure whether he was called safe because Renteria beat the throw or it looked like Darwin Barney pulled his foot off the bag at second base.
Yeah, I think his foot did come off. At any rate, Jay Bruce takes a fastball in the inside corner. Either a backup slider or a split, and it was up in the outside corner, and Bruce waved at it. Here's a 1-2. Got him on a great sinker. It's the Greg Maddux comebacker.
Yep. He set it up well by throwing a cutter inside earlier in the count. Jay Bruce sees this pitch, probably assumed it was another cutter. Off the plate inside, but that late movement back toward the corner gets the called third strike. A lot of times it's not always the pitch that gets you out. It's the pitches that you threw previously to set that hitter up and make him vulnerable to that last pitch.
Cairo out into right center will give the Reds the lead as Renteria scores. Phillips to third. Cairo with his 999th career base hit. Cairo right now is dancing off of first because Carlos Pena's near the mound.
It's a little inside out swing from Cairo. He too a veteran player that hits to situations. That time just muscled one out into shallow right center field to put the Reds on the board.
Alonso with a big cut fouled it back. Pulled foul. Misters keep everybody cool.
Unless that steam wouldn't accomplish the goal.
No.
I talked about Yonder Alonso coming out of a big time program down at the University of Miami. It's not unusual for guys coming out of those big programs that have had tremendous success and a lot of players move on to professional baseball to get into the minor leagues, and it almost seems like a step back. In some cases playing in front of smaller crowds, smaller clubhouses, maybe the facility isn't quite as nice as what you played in college. Fortunately for Yonder Alonso, got to the big leagues rather quickly, so he didn't have to deal with those small clubhouses in the minor leagues.
I think it is a great thing about baseball. I saw a great Sports Illustrated article on Bryce Harper. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but it kind of debunked a few myths about him, painted him in a pretty positive light. But just the idea of the scrutiny that he has been under, and the fact that a lot of, we'll say, kids his age in other sports, they go right to their top of their league, whereas he went to the low minors. It can be very humbling. Now, we don't expect Bryce Harper to spend a lot of time in the minor leagues, but he's not going to be in the big leagues this year at age 18.
Well, and a similar conundrum for the Washington Nationals, as we were talking about with Mike Quade making out his lineup on a daily basis. When do you pull the plug and start playing the kids? When do you continue to compete and try to win games? The Washington Nationals are 19 games out of first place. Very little chance to catch the Phillies or the Braves in that division or in the wild card race as Alonso lines one into left for an RBI base hit. So I'm sure a lot of National fans are saying, hey, what the heck do we have to lose? Let's get the kid up here and get him some at-bats, get him some experience at the major league level.
Back-to-back two-out RBI singles. So 4 walks in the first 2 innings and now 4 hits in the third to make it 2-0. That pitch was out of the strike zone. Well, there was a great line in the article. Either his manager or one of his minor league coaches said, Bryce, if you, and he's now, is he at high A or double A? I think he's at double A.
I think he's in double A now, I believe.
He said, if you hit 400 this year, where are you going to finish? He said, double A. Said, if you hit 600 this year, where are you going to finish? He said, double A. He said, if you don't make an out and you hit 1,000, where are you going to finish? Double A. He's not hitting 1,000 as Hernandez lines out. Reds get on the board first. It's 2-0 in the third.
Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs home cap. Compliments of Comcast Sportsnet. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Carlos Zambrano trailing 2-0. Will bat for the first time. He's put together a really nice year at the plate. And according to Elias, he has driven in a run and gotten the win 37 times in his career. Tied with Livan Hernandez for the most such games among active pitchers. And he drives one deep to right center. Out of here. Well, he's driven in a run today. Second homer of the year and the 23rd of his career. He's the Cubs franchise leader among pitchers.
Cueto perhaps getting a little too cute with Zambrano. Missed away with the first two pitches. Comes in with an 83-mile-an-hour changeup down and in, right in Big Z's wheelhouse. Our HB touchpad home run replay. A bomb to right center field by Carlos Zambrano to get the Cubs on the board.
First homer since April 13th in Houston. And it seems like he hits all of his home runs against the Astros and the Reds. We'll find out here.
Sure, it seems that way for the Reds and the Astros.
I'll tell you, it might be like half his home runs have been against those two teams. And now it's 3-0 on Starlin Castro. All right, 23 home runs, right? 7 against the Reds, 6 against Houston. So 13 of his 23 have been against these two franchises. He's hit left-handed. Bruce coming over, and he'll get it on the move. .13th at Wrigley Field. I'll tell you, according to Baseball Reference, Bob, he's hit 5 to left, 5 to right, 5 to left center, 5 to center, and 4 to right center. So, yeah, he finds every area of the ballpark.
Well, and that ability to swing the bat and occasionally hit the ball up into the seats, I'm sure over the course of his career has kept him in a lot of ball games where maybe another pitcher who doesn't swing the bat as well would have been taken down for a pinch hitter. The ability to do those other things, you know, hold runners on base, field your position, get down a bunt, swing the bat, put the ball in play. For a starting pitcher, will buy you that extra inning or sometimes 2 innings in a ball game, which might make the difference between taking a loss as opposed to taking a victory or a no decision.
A look from behind home plate as Barney bounces it foul. Zambrano's homered off the likes of Tom Glavine, Woody Williams, his one-time teammate Todd Wellemeyer, Cairo with a nice play. He's taken one guy deep twice, Kyle Loesch.
I would imagine, Len, there are some older fans like myself out there who watch Johnny Cueto's delivery out of the windup and can't help but think about Luis Tiant.
Knocked down by Renteria, but that's it. And Ramirez has a 2-out single. The ball was scalded to short.
Renteria gets extended over there in that hole between third and short, just throws out the left hand trying to get to that baseball. It hits him in the heel of the glove, and fortunately for Ramirez and the Cubs, just drops harmlessly out there in the grass in left field for a base hit. I can't remember who said it, Len, about Luis Tiant, but they said at some point in the ball game he's going to look every fan in the eye.
Yeah, I mean, he was staring at the center field camera before every pitch. And if Johnny Cueto has a career that's even in the ballpark of Luis Tiant, it'll be a great career. 229 wins for El Tiante.
One of the great thrills of my minor league career was taking an at-bat against Luis Tiant in the Pacific Coast League. He was coming back from some sort of injury or the other, having a rehab start in AAA, and I had a chance to face him. Don't remember what I did, but what a hoot.
One to Pena is inside. 2-1. 2 down, runner at first. Zambrano led off the inning with a home run to make it 2-1. Full count, 3-2. It's the only early start. Everything else is either later this afternoon or tonight. Ramirez takes off as Pena fouls that one back and out of the ballpark. Ball landing just about right now near the Ernie Banks statue.
You're going to notice out of the stretch, Johnny Cueto doesn't turn his back to the hitter at all. Very abbreviated delivery to home plate, especially when he uses that slide step.
Deep right center. Bruce chasing after it, won't get it. Ramirez will score the tying run as Pena doubles him home.
Fortunately, a full count pitch. Cueto hangs it up over the inside part of the plate. He pulls it back to the gap in right center. Fortunately, a 3-2 count with 2 outs because Ramirez was on the move from first base and scored easily without a play on that gapper to right center.
Chance now for Bird to give the Cubs the lead. Going to happen though as Renteria throws him out for the second time today. Well, the Reds got 2 in the top of the inning. The Cubs come right back with a pair. Zambrano with his second homer of the year, and then Pena with the RBI double. It's 2-2.
from Taco Bell, open 1 a.m. or later.
It's AT&T trivia time. Legend has credited Dusty Baker with co-inventing what piece of American culture? More specifically, American sports culture. We'll have the answer coming up. Dusty, the subject of trivia question today and tomorrow. He's had a very interesting career, which we have talked about a lot over the years in terms of a teammate of Hank Aaron. He was in the on-deck circle as Reed Johnson robs Johnny Cueto. As Hank Aaron hit the home run to pass Babe Ruth on the all-time home run list.
No, Dusty did not invent the toothpick. He certainly popularized it in his time as a manager, especially here in Chicago.
Ground ball to Castro.
And partner, you can blame Dusty Baker for my interest in fishing as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back when he was managing the San Francisco Giants and I was a coach on his staff. On off days, Dusty would take some of his players out to a local pond, do some fishing, and one time he drugged me along. I had nothing else to do, and pardon the pun, but I was hooked.
Relaxing activity, there's no doubt. And more information on the former Cubs manager. He closes in on his 300th win with his third different team. 840 wins with the Giants, 322 with the Cubs, and 297 with the Reds. He's tied Dave Bristol on their all-time managerial wins list. Got a ways to go to catch Sparky Anderson at the top, the late Hall of Famer with 863 wins. Tie Bristol for 8th. He got Renteria on a slider. Came back right over the heart of the plate. Z with an 8-pitch inning, and he really needed it. It's 2-2. A piece of American culture, and the debate will probably last till the end of time. It is the high five. He and Glenn Burke, his then Dodger teammate, back in 1977. We'll hear from Dusty here momentarily. I just kind of assume the high five's been around forever, but it has not.
Hard to believe, but players actually used to just shake hands after somebody hit a home run or scored a big run, or if a pitcher got out of a jam, they do the traditional handshake.
Or a low five.
Low five. Gave way to the high five, which kind of gave way to the fist bump.
Reed Johnson could not hold up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The key is to know what the other guy is expecting. You know, if you come in there ready for a fist bump and he's ready for a high five, and then when you go for the high five, he switches to the low five, it could end up looking like a fight.
Yeah, you got to get it right. 2-1. Pop up out into shallow right center. 3 Reds in the area. It's going to drop, and oh, that could be bad. As Brandon Phillips really took a tumble. Looked like he was going to make the catch, but then he ran over Drew Stubbs. That could be a bad one. It's a double for Reed Johnson. But the Reds trainer, along with Dusty Baker, they're going to head out and check on their second baseman.
Well, you could almost see this one coming. Brandon Phillips never quits on a pop-up. He didn't hear any of his outfielders call him off, so he continued after the ball. Drew Stubbs actually does what you teach outfielders on a play like that. You'd rather the infielder stay on his feet, the outfielder go to a slide, hoping to minimize the damage. Unfortunately, this time, the Drew Stubbs slide catches Phillips in an awkward position.
Now, you worry about the foot getting caught underneath and a bad twist, and our replay seemed to indicate that he avoided maybe major damage with his foot or ankle. But the other thing, Bob, this may have taken his breath away. That was a hard landing.
That's Steve Ballman, the assistant trainer for the Cincinnati Reds, along with Dusty Baker, and taking a look at that right ankle area. Appeared to take the worst of it from Drew Stubbs as he came sliding in from center field.
You worry about the spike really planting in the turf and then the other player landing right on it. They're checking on the lower right leg. Let's focus on the right leg, which is the back leg closest to your screen. Right. Okay, so it's more the impact, maybe.
Yeah, the bone of the knee of Drew Stubbs is making solid contact with the inside of the right angle of Brandon Phillips. You can see he was already grimacing before he hit the ground. The amazing thing is he caught that ball.
Yeah, he would have caught it. Yep. We've not heard a scoring decision, but I got to believe that's a double.
I would think so.
Errors usually aren't charged to guys who get tackled inadvertently.
Hopefully nothing worse than a bruise for Brandon Phillips. Dusty Baker is hoping that thing heals in the next 15 seconds. That's a very important piece of this Reds team, both offensively and defensively.
Looks like Phillips wants to stay in.
They could ill afford to lose him for any amount of time.
Well, their bench is almost a full player short. Chris Heise, who pinch ran yesterday, can only pinch run today. Can't throw, he can't hit. So if you take Phillips out, you put in another infielder, and you lose a potential bat later, because again Heise can only run.
Looks like he's going to stay in the ball game. I think. Not to sound cruel or anything, but if you're Mike Quade and the Cubs, let's go. Either play or don't play. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this business. We can't wait until he heals out there at second base. You either have to make a determination that he can continue playing in this game, or you're going to have to pull him out for a sub. No, it won't happen with Alfonso Soriano at the plate, but push bunt to the right side of the field, forcing Phillips to come over and cover first base right now would might be a little bit of a shifty strategy, but we'll see what he's capable of doing on that injured right ankle.
Go ahead run now, second base, nobody out. Now 1-0 to Soriano's bounced foul. Johnson with a bloop double. And a drive to deep left for Soriano. Off the wall. He doubles, and the Cubs lead 3-2. He keeps hitting against Johnny Cueto. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. Cubs with their first lead.
And a lengthy delay perhaps hurting Johnny Cueto. He grooves a 91-mile-an-hour fastball to Alfonso Soriano. A lot of topspin on that drive to left field. Looked like it had a chance to reach the seats, but as it got out there closer to the left field wall, it hit about halfway out.
Soto rolls it into left. Soriano will be held at third. 3 straight hits. Brian Price will head out to the mound. By the way, this is the 17th start of the year for Johnny Cueto. He hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in any, or 3 earned runs I should say, in any of his starts. Well, he's at 3 right now, and in certain danger of it being at least 4 in this inning.
Reds pitching coach Brian Price out there having a word with his starting pitcher. I mentioned the mechanical tweaks that Cueto went through back in May, turning his back more to the hitter. Brian Price wasn't totally on board with those changes initially, but when Cueto started to have some success, Brian Price bought into it as well. They've worked to try to smooth out that turn your back to home plate delivery and get the most out of it. It's feather in Brian Price's cap to show the flexibility to do what a pitcher thinks he needs to do to be successful, even if it's not what you think he needs to do.
Well, the other part of it is he's worked from the stretch a lot,
yep,
which mitigates that mechanical change. quite a bit. Now, having said that, with runners on base this year, opponents are hitting just .209. One and two. He got him. That's out number one. Nice job by the Menards grounds crew, as always here at Wrigley Field. Pitch to Castro, bounced up the middle, takes Phillips right to second. He does get one out. That's it. And Mike Quaddy's going to argue that Phillips ever had the ball. Apparently the call is by Doug Eddings that he was taking the ball out of his glove to make the throw to first. It'll be an RBI on the fielder's choice for Castro to make it 4-2.
We'll have the benefit of the replay.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it is the right call. He had the ball in the glove as he stepped on second base. Good presence of mind to do two things at once right there. Yeah, right there the out is recorded, and he's clearly trying to take the ball out of his glove as it comes loose. Well, I don't think Q agrees with Doug Eddings out there at second base, but I think he got it right. Well, that's the one time you don't want Starlin Castro to hit the ball up the middle of the field. The Reds were cheating up the middle a little bit in anticipation of a possible double play, and that grounder led Brandon Phillips right to the bag at second.
What a break as the ball eventually got out of his glove. That allowed Castro to reach first. And also allowed Soriano to score. One and one. Punched into center. Castro will stop at second. Seven hits now in the last two innings for the Cubs. That one handcuffed Hernandez, who was able to knock it down.
And just judging from Hernandez's reaction, he was expecting a cut fastball to move away from Ramirez, and that pitch either held its line or maybe even moved a little bit the other way. Anytime you're catching a pitch and you end up reaching back to the inside corner with your thumb down, that's when you get in a very precarious position as a catcher. Catcher that's ever caught a good sinker ball pitcher, they're all very familiar with that same bone bruise. You're tracking the ball as you start to turn that thumb toward the ground as the ball sinks down and in, you end up taking the brunt of it off of your thumb. Well, you catchers know what I'm talking about.
Most earned runs allowed this year by Johnny Cueto.
Keep the line moving. Perhaps an opportunity to really blow this one wide open here if Aramis Ramirez can find something to his liking.
Gets by, and the runners will advance.
All over the place in this inning. It's a cutter that's clear over in the left-handed batter's box. Hernandez just tries to reach across and make a backhanded play, and it shoots past him to the bricks.
So wild one on Cueto. Go back to the windup. Runners at second and third, and a 3-1 count. Ball 4, bases loaded.
Then want to send a quick hello to Lori Fodge, F-O-D-G-E, the daughter of former Cub Gene Fodge, a pitcher back in 1958. She's here at the ball game today. Unfortunately, her father Gene passed away about a year ago, and she just wanted to say how badly she missed her dad. Welcome to the ballpark.
Also got a really nice letter from Deanna Edmonds, big Cub fan from Kelowna, Illinois. Also, Linda Fowler from Flanagan sent us a nice note. Favorite Cub is Aramis Ramirez. 2-0 on the patient Carlos Pena. Way inside, 3-0. Fans, make sure you check out the new Cubs Kids Club presented by ComEd, the official kids club of the Cubs. Help your favorite young Cub fan earn his or her pinstripe as a member of the Cubs Kids Club. You'll receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise throughout the 2011 season. Visit Cubs.com to sign up today. Just on the outside corner.
Maybe. That's
Mike
one of those.
Hernandez set up out there. A little surprise. Look where he set up. He set up almost out of the zone.
He reaches across to his left shin guard to make the catch. That's that automatic 3-0 call if it's anywhere close to the plate.
Setting up in the same spot. Low to force in a run. 5-2. Peña's taken 66 walks this year, good for third in the league. And it's the third with the bases loaded for Peña this week. That is it for Cueto. Roughest outing of the year for Johnny Cueto. Sam LeCure will come in. It's the Verizon call to the pen in the fourth. In relief of Johnny Cueto.
Solid numbers for the right-hander this year. Only 35 base hits allowed in 52 innings. He gave up a run on Wednesday against the Houston Astros. Was the first run he had surrendered since July 5th. A really nice job working middle relief out of that Reds bullpen.
Some DL time with a sprained forearm. As Marlon Byrd steps in with the bases loaded. He's grounded out twice to short. 3 runs in. The Cubs lead 5-2. Look here, ready, and the pitch, 2-1.
I'll tell you, Lynn, we know Joey Votto plays as far off that first baseline as any defender in the National League. But one thing it does in this situation, it gives Carlos Peña an opportunity to take a monster leadoff over there at first. That could become significant on a ground ball where maybe the only play the Reds have is at second base. Hopefully Peña will be able to beat that force.
Oh, a 2-2. Foul tip, strike 3. But a huge inning for the Cubs. They get 3 runs. They knock Cueto out of the game. It's 5-2.
The 29653. If you're the 500 texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway. A little cushion here for Carlos Zambrano as he takes the ball to begin the top half of the 5th inning. Cubs fortunate to catch Johnny Cueto on a bad day today. He's been really good this season, especially lately. But they took advantage of every mistake he made in the game today.
And they've really been doing that throughout this winning streak. Foul strike to Joey Votto. Todd Frazier's going to hit for Brandon Phillips. Not a huge surprise. Phillips able to stay in the game after apparently injuring his lower right leg. Will be removed. Two balls, 2 strikes. Three and 2. Carlos ready for a payoff pitch. Fouled back.
The wind has turned a little bit since the beginning of the ball game. Also blowing a little bit harder. Appears to be coming straight in from right field now.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 5 for Carlos Zambrano today.
It's rare you get Joey Votto to swing at a pitch that far out of the strike zone. That was a slider up about shoulder level. Votto probably has as good an eye for the strike zone as any hitter in the National League. Rare to see him chase a bad pitch.
So here's Frazier, who played third and left yesterday, went 0 for 2, 2 walks and a run. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. A lot of deep counts on both sides in this one today.
Todd Frazier resides in Toms River, New Jersey. Now, if you've heard of that before, it's probably because of the tremendous Little League World Series team they had back in 1998. And yes, indeed, Todd Frazier was a member of that team.
Ground ball sending Castro to his left. Matchup at Fenway Park later today. CC Sabathia will go after his 17th win. He has a 1.01 over his last 8 starts. He'll face John Lackey as the Yankees go for their 9th straight win. They beat the Red Sox last night to jump ahead in the standings by a game. Bruce lines out hard to Darwin Barney. That's 7 in a row now retired by Z as he works with a 5-2 advantage. On leading 5-2 going after their 7th in a row. LeCure against Reed Johnson. Cairo goes from 3rd to 2nd. Frazier stays in and plays 3rd. Cubs trying to win their 7th in a row for the first time since 2008. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. 0-2. The Cubs have also won 4 in a row here at home. Last time they won 5 straight at Wrigley Field, 2009.
That move to take Brandon Phillips out of this ball game, Len. You know, obviously the Reds know much better than we do exactly the extent of the injury, but anytime you get a bruise below the waist, and it looked like he got whacked pretty good on that right ankle, it's going to swell. You're going to have some bleeding in that area, and when you're standing on your feet all day, the effects of gravity just make it worse than it has to be. So I'm sure Brandon Phillips up in the clubhouse right now has that foot elevated with an ice bag on it. Maybe get some further evaluations later this evening, but nothing good can come of playing the rest of the ball game on a badly bruised right ankle. Now, if it's the end of September and you're a game out of first place, that's a whole different story. You just tape an aspirin on it and go get them.
Cairo couldn't get to it. Johnson with a base hit. You certainly give up a little range when you take Phillips out. Second hit for Reed Johnson.
Boy, Reed Johnson has such tremendous plate coverage because he stands so close to the plate. Pitches that an opposing pitcher will think are several inches off the outside corner or right in the middle of his swing.
Johnson starting it again. He doubled to begin the 3-run fourth. Soriano knocked him home with a 2-base hit. Fastball right down the middle, 0-2. Cole Hamels and Matt Cain coming up in a little over an hour in San Francisco. Phillies have won the first 2 of that series. He's got testy last night. We'll see what happens today.
I think there were some comments from Phillies manager Charlie Manuel, not intended to inflame the Giants pitching staff, but he was answering some questions about the great Giants starting pitching. And he said, let's give it a little time. You know, usually when you use the word great, it's over a longer period of time and you have maintained success over that period of time. He wasn't quite willing to call the Giants rotation great at this point. Charlie said, you want to see a great pitching staff, look on the other side of the field. He didn't say that, but I'm sure he was thinking it.
First place Milwaukee's in Houston. Chris Narveson against Brett Myers tonight. Craig Counsell finally snapped the offer. It had reached 45 consecutive at bats. But he had a pinch hit single last night in the 9th inning as Milwaukee won 8-1. The record for the longest hitless streak by a non-pitcher, Bill Bergen, in 1909 went 0 for 46. A fly to left and a circle route there, and it drops and it gets past Alonso. Boy, he played that routine fly ball into a double.
Wow is right. I mean, he may have been fooled a little bit because Soriano went over his head last time. This time a full swing, but he didn't catch it on the sweet spot of the bat. It just got out there to left field and died, but got a little too close to the ball right there. Wasn't able to play that carom. It gets by him all the way to the vines.
A single and an error. I think the adjective you'd have to use there is very tentative.
I think of a few others, but let's settle for tentative. Yes.
Fielders in a few steps as Soto swings and misses. Way back to Craig Counsell. It was the longest hitless streak by a non-pitcher since Tony Bernazard of the Indians went 0 for 44 in 1984. But it is over. Craig Counsell slept a little better last night.
You know how I feel about Craig Counsell. He was a big part of our 01 World Championship team in Arizona, and it's hard for me to believe that he could ever go that long without getting a base hit. Such a good situational hitter, still runs extremely well, good bunter. Sometimes that happens in this game.
He's one of our favorites.
There's another guy you were talking about, Edgar Renteria, earlier. They were teammates on that Florida team that won the World Championship. Counsell, another guy that always seems to surface with good teams.
We're in the middle of a couple of World Series clinching rallies, and Edgar Renteria 2 times in his career has produced a World Series clinching RBI hit. 97 with the Marlins, last year with the Giants. Just on a slider, it's full 3-2 with Zambrano on deck. Bases loaded, nobody out.
New season, a new look. Join Vineline, the official magazine of the Chicago Cubs, in celebrating its 25th anniversary in 2011. Get the backstage pass to how the Cubs live and play on the field as well as off. Subscriptions start at just $29.95, and for more information and to order, visit Cubs.com/Vineline.
With the home run today, Zambrano's tied Hall of Famer Walter Johnson for 9th on the all-time home run list by pitcher. That's number 23. Late swing.
Yesterday with Aroldis Chapman on the mound for the Reds and Tony Campana at the plate, we saw Aramis Ramirez stay in the dugout rather than get into the on-deck circle, and Starlin Castro, out of self-preservation, moves all the way down to the middle of the Cubs dugout just to try to get out of the line of fire should Zambrano swing late on another pitch. This is as close as Carlos gets to a 2-strike approach as a hitter. He's choked up on the bat just a little bit. It's a little punch swing that time to stay alive on a borderline pitch. Be choked up, but there was nothing 2-strike about that one. He was looking to leave earth again. LeCure pitches like he's getting paid by the hour.
How do you know he's not?
It may be.
One away.
That may be part of his strategy. You know, crucial situation here in the ball game. Bases loaded. There were none out before the Zambrano strikeout. Most hitters, even pitchers in that particular situation, very anxious to swing the bat, make something happen, try to drive home some teammates, and LeCure goes just the other direction. Really slows the game down.
Castro leading the league in hits as he comes up.
I was just going to say that's something that the Dodgers pitching staff historically have been really adept at, changing the rhythm of the game. When the opposing offense starts to get base runners and swing the bats, pitchers slow the game down. Ron Peronowski, Tommy Lasorda's pitching coach for years, used to make a slow walk to the mound just to try to take the air out of the ball a little bit.
Going back to 1946, only one Cub has had more 3-hit games in a single season. We mentioned it yesterday. Bill Buckner had 24 of them in 1980 when he won the batting title. Driven to left, and Alonso won't get it over his head. Johnson, Soriano, with Soto stopping at third, a 2-run double.
I'll tell you, in this game, if you're playing out of position or you're unsure of yourself at your defensive position, that ball will seem to find you with regularity. Well hit ball off the bat of Castro, but Alonso froze in his tracks initially. By the time he realized it was going to be over his head, he could not recover. Starlin Castro with a double, plating 2 more.
Seven to 2. Here's Barney with runners at second and third. Are trying to find Alonso a defensive position. Pretty solid at first base.
Yeah. Scott Rowland returns. Figures to get the bulk of the playing time at third base, which is another option for Alonso.
Swing and a miss for out number 2. 3 strikeouts for LeCure. All the outs he's recorded have been punch outs. Hey, watch Comcast Sportsnet game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Two in the third to tie it, 3 in the fourth to take the lead, 2 more tack on runs here in the fifth. Diving stop, Renteria, and Votto can't make the play at the other end. 2 runs in. Soto had already scored, and once that throw got past Votto, Castro was able to trot home to make it 9-2.
Half a nice play by Edgar Renteria. Gets to this smash off the bat of Aramis Ramirez and then really took his sweet time getting to his feet. Lollipop that throw across the infield. Tough short hop pick. Actually a long hop pick that time by Joey Votto. He's unable to come up with it.
So an RBI infield single, and then the error on Renteria. It's been a very difficult defensive inning, to say the least, for the Reds.
Once again, much like all of last season, they've been a very good defensive team this year. 3rd in the National League in fielding percentage coming into play today. When you're standing around out there on defense seemingly all afternoon, natural tendencies to get back on your heels a little bit. Don't react quite as quickly as you should when that ball is put into play.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody has contributed. Well, let's not forget about Reed Johnson's contributions the last 2 innings. He's gotten on base as the leadoff guy both times, and the Cubs have put up a combined 7 runs. It's so important when that leadoff guy gets on base. Down by Hernandez. Still time to get great seats for the 2011 season. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Jose Arredondo came on yesterday, faced 3 batters and didn't retire any of them. He's up in the bullpen. That'll get all the way to the wall. Stubbs will chase it down. Ramirez around third. On his way to the plate. 10-2. A double for Pena. Three RBIs for Pena.
It's one thing to see a guy playing out of position like Yonder Alonso in left field misplay a ball, but Drew Stubbs, a really good defender, took a horrible line after that ball, rolls all the way to the vines. Keep the line moving. Man, you've got a Reds team out there right now that is just not paying attention to the game of baseball.
I think Dusty is in a good frame of mind right now, watching what he has watched here this inning, as the Cubs have scored 5 times, and with better defense, possibly they would have had none.
Well, in the big picture rather, with a Bronson Arroyo pitching for the Reds tomorrow, a guy who's had his own struggles this season. We saw a bunch of bullpen in the ball game yesterday. Figure to see a bunch more bullpen out of the Reds today, and with the starter going tomorrow that you don't figure to get deep into the ball game, this Reds pitching staff could be very susceptible by game time tomorrow.
Ground ball. Votto backhands LeCure over to first, and they get the out. The Cubs score 5 more. All 9 have hit over the last 2 innings. 10-2.
Cubs mobile alerts. Text CSN Cubs to 29653 for breaking Cubs news, scores, insider reports, and more. Text CSN Cubs to 29653 right now.
All Cubs 10-2. Scored the last 10 runs in this game. Beneficiary Carlos Zambrano, but he's contributed on offense as well. With a home run back in the 3rd inning. Two 2-0 on Miguel Cairo in search of his 1,000th hit. 3-0. Another big crowd today. 41,978. A lot to cheer about.
They couldn't ask for better weather the first week of August. A little steamy as the game began, but that cool breeze off the lake has made it a very comfortable afternoon here at Wrigley.
3-1 pitch, strike 2. Two bouncer. Castro. One away.
And then I wanted to correct myself. I got my bands mixed up yesterday. We were talking about Cage the Elephant playing in Lollapalooza, and I said the song that really turned me on to them was Hang Me Up to Dry, which of course is the Cold War kids.
Okay.
The Cage the Elephant song was Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. I know there are some music fans out there that called me on that, so I wanted to correct myself.
You didn't sleep last night over that
Not
one.
at all.
Alonso trying to out-hit his defensive issues. He just cranked an opposite field home run. And it's the first of his career. That's why he's here.
Yeah, that is definitely why he's here. He has put together a string of really good at-bats in the first 2 games of this series, including this opposite field homer. It looks like he's going to be a really good major league hitter if they can just find somewhere to play him. As we've said repeatedly, he's a first baseman by trade and maybe a tick above average as a first baseman, but Joey Votto's not going anywhere. So Alonso either is going to have to learn a new position or possibly be used as trade bait to get a piece that the Reds need.
Well, it's 10-3. 1-1 on Hernandez with Fred Lewis ready to pinch hit for LeCure. Are LeCure playing tonight? Lollapalooza?
I'll muse on that a while.
There's a base hit for Hernandez. Here comes Lewis. What I want to know is Cage the elephant? Is the elephant's name Cage, or are you supposed to put the elephant in the cage?
You can interpret it either way you like. Whichever visual image makes you enjoy their music more.
Riggins chatting with Carlos Zambrano and Giovanni Soto. Still a 7-run advantage. He's had to work hard today because of a bunch of walks early. I'd like to see a bill of Cage the elephant, Foster the people, and Mott the hoople. I think that'd be a nice.
Yeah. Portugal the man. You could throw that in there. The hoople, boy, that's going way back in the archives.
Call it the blank tour.
Fill in the blank.
1-1 on Fred Lewis.
I was listening to a little Mott the Hoople the other day, all the way from Memphis. Yeah.
Breaking ball finds his zone. 1-2.
Was that Patsy Cline that did the song "I Fall to Pieces"?
Yes.
It could be the Reds' theme song today defensively. Boy, they really fell to pieces in that last inning.
Big add-on runs too. 5 of them for the Cubs. They would all be earned. Chopped up the middle. Castro steps on second, throw to first, save.
A little bit of confusion there. That's a tough play for a shortstop to make the determination whether to take this one yourself or the backhanded shovel toss onto the second baseman. It was going to be tough for Darwin Barney to turn that double play with his back completely turned to first base as he got to the bag. Good news is the Cubs get the lead runner. Always make sure you get one.
Slider a lot today from Big Z.
He's used it like an off-speed pitch today too. On occasion he's taken a lot off that pitch, rolled it up there in the high 70s, low 80s. Right there at 72. Kind of wrap that one. No question, this Reds offense a good fastball hitting team.
Lewis was running with that pitch. The board said 3-2. Not so sure it wasn't 3-1. Doesn't really matter now as Stubbs hit it foul. Goes again as Stubbs fouls this one off. I think it was 3-1. They got the count wrong.
Well, the Cubs aren't holding on Fred Lewis over there at first base, so he was going to try to get himself to second, even if it was a 3-1 count, which I agree with you. I think it was a couple pitches ago.
Stubbs can't lay off the high fastball and strikes out for the 5th time in this series. They get one on the Alonso first career homer, but it's still 10-3 Cubs. Light Cubs post game live. David Kaplan, Todd Hollinsworth will break down the game and preview the Cubs next matchup. Don't miss Coors Light Cubs post game live immediately following our contest right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Reed Johnson takes a strike from the new Reds hurler Jose Arredondo. Lewis stays in and plays left. Alonso is out. Arredondo charged with a run. He walked 2, gave up a double, and the 3 batters he faced yesterday. And a roller to third. Frazier with a bad throw. Throw to second. Safe there. Another error on the Reds, and Johnson could take third very easily. But he didn't see that Frazier wasn't covering the bag. I think Ivan De Jesus was trying to get his attention.
A really bad rhythm on this play by Frazier at third base. Fielded it flat-footed, tried to throw it quickly across the diamond. His throw pulls Votto way off the bag. A good backup that time by Miguel Cairo, but as he throws to second base, Frazier was over at the shortstop position. The shortstop Renteria was covering the bag at second. There was nary a soul over at third base.
So Brendan Ryan of the Mariners take 2 extra bases on a similar play the other night in Seattle. So Johnson leading off an inning, and he's on again, this time via the error. Soriano has walked, doubled, singled, knocked in a run, scored twice. 3-0. Ball 4. A rare 2-walk performance today for Alfonso Soriano. That's a good sign.
I was just about to say that. I don't know what's rarer, a Tony Campana inside the park homer or a 2-walk game by Alfonso Soriano, but there he is.
It's the 3rd time this year he's walked twice in a game as Soto takes ball 1. Tyler Colvin on deck for Zambrano. Reds tying their season high with 3 errors. I'm guessing this will go down as one of, if not the worst performance for them of the year. I mean, Johnny Cueto had his worst outing as a starter this season. He had been just tremendous. Struggled defensively, to say the least. And this is a game they actually led 2-0.
Our Xfinity high-speed action. We go back to the 3rd inning. A leadoff bomb home run to right center field by Carlos Zambrano. Got the Cubs on the board, and they have done all the scoring, with the exception of the Alonso opposite field home run against Zambrano.
So Soto striking out. Here's a pinch hitter, Colvin. And this is really just what the doctor ordered, the big lead. Carlos Marmol not available today, and I think Mike Quaddy would love to give him a couple of days off if possible. He's been extremely busy during this winning streak. 1-1 to Colvin. So the big lead certainly helps out the bullpen. We'll see Jeff Samardzija in the 7th. Also see former Cub catcher Jody Davis.
Jody.
They will conduct the 7th inning stretch. Colvin pops it up on the infield. Infield fly rule in effect as Cairo has it. Three knocked in from the leadoff spot for Starlin Castro. He has a 7-game run streak. Scored twice. Actually make it 8. He scored a run in 8 consecutive games. He's hit in 7 straight.
You're on base 3 or 4 times every game. It figures you're going to score some runs.
Two and two as he waded a slider. Arredondo did not pitch last year after Tommy John surgery. Been on the DL twice this season. And has helped at the plate on July 29th against the Giants. Helped out in the winning rally with a base hit off Brian Wilson in his first career plate appearance. That was in the 13th inning. And he got the win. Still 2-2 on Castro.
How many at bats have we seen like this year where Starlin Castro will get the 2 strikes and then just hang around and foul off borderline pitches and foul off pitches that are a foot out of the strike zone, just staying alive in the at bat until that pitcher ultimately makes some kind of a mistake and he hits it hard back up the middle of the field for a base hit. Hopefully that'll be the result of this grinding at bat.
An error and a walk to start the inning. Strikeout and a pop up since. There it is. Foul back our way.
It's been a long time since we've had a foul ball in the booth. Getting a little rusty.
We've only had, I think, one actually in the booth in the last 7 years, and you caught it.
At some point, that opposing pitcher is probably going to yell in there, just put it in play, will you? Please. I'm running up my pitch count. Carlos Marmol teasing some of the fans in the front row behind the Cubs dugout.
Youngster finally got his hands on it.
Pitches already in this at bat.
No matter where he throws it either. Arredondo probably throws his splitter more often than any pitcher in baseball.
He's got a delivery that's really conducive to that split-fingered fastball. Very much over the top.
And a base hit for Castro. Johnson around third. He'll score. What an at-bat. His fourth RBI, his second hit. 11-3.
Just an amazing at-bat by an amazing hitter, Starlin Castro. Showed you all those pitches that he was able to foul off and stay alive in the sequence. Ultimately, Arredondo tries to challenge him with a fastball up in the zone. Base hit in the left field to drive home another Cubs run. I mean, pitchers are human. They're going to make mistakes. If they always hit their spot and made their pitches, nobody would ever get a base hit. When you can stay alive in an at-bat the way Starlin Castro can, you give that pitcher multiple opportunities to make mistakes during the course of the at-bat, and that time Starlin took advantage of a high heater, smacked it into left field for an RBI base hit.
Pop up shallow center. It'll be Cairo as the Cubs add an unearned run. As they go for their seventh in a row, it's 11-3. Players who lived them firsthand. Now you have the chance. Take a tour with former Cub greats like Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Doug Glanville, or Ernie Banks. For more info and to purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com. Into the bullpen, Jeff Samardzija is on. Carlos Zambrano went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Has qualified for what would be his 9th win.
After those first couple innings, it looks like it was going to be one of those days where Carlos continually pitched himself into and out of trouble, but after the leadoff walk in the second inning, he was right around the strike zone the rest of the afternoon.
Strike one to Renteria. Prado and Frazier, who's in the game for Brandon Phillips. Also in the 7th, Phillips with a sprained right ankle. Not sure of his availability yet for tomorrow. It's Nick Massett up in the Reds bullpen.
Renteria throughout his career has hit from that closed stance. Very unusual in this game nowadays. Most guys hit out of either an even or an open stance. But he'll pick his spots to look for a pitch on the inner third of the plate and step in that bucket and try to pull the ball down the left field line.
Jeff Samardzija has only allowed 47 hits in 61 innings, but he's walked 39 guys. He's hit 4 others. Strikeout per inning. Picked up by Ramirez in fair territory and one away.
A little sun peeking through the overcast here.
Lights have been on because of the cloud cover. Foul tip, strike one. It's been a quiet series for Votto. He's reached 3 times in the first 2 games, but all on walks. Missed the splitter. 0-2.
Looked like Votto was taking all the way right there on the 0-2 pitch. Just kind of stood up as Samardzija completed his delivery. The pitch was up high out of the zone, but looked like he was going to take that pitch regardless. Splitter this time in the dirt, trying to get Votto to fish.
All you can think about, isn't it?
That's right.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the split. 2 down.
It's certainly understandable on a day like the Reds have had, but man, the body language that you see from some of the hitters on their way back to the bench, the position players as they come off the field between innings, they just look like a beaten team today.
To the count. Jody Davis getting set for the stretch. So Marge is 1-2. Frazier stays alive. Low that time. Jay Bruce on deck. Swing and a miss. Inning over. Stretch time with Jody Davis.
Take me out to the ball game. Former Cubs great Jody Davis.
All right. Let me hear ya. A one, a two, a three. Take me out. Take me out with the crowd. Find me something that's a crowd. Why can't I ever get back? Get there when it's a shame, or three strikes you're out at the old ball game. All right.
With 3 errors in the game, as Nick Massett will take over on the mound. Paul Janisch has also come into the game at short. And Jody Davis in the booth with us.
Hey, it's good to be back. These fans are always great.
A little warm, a little humid today. Didn't take you much to sweat behind the plate on a day like this, did it?
You'd be loose just trotting out there today.
Shaking hands, you get loose on a day like this. You know, Len, Jody came in the booth and I shook his hand, and it reminded me of a story. Joe Garagiola Sr., our good buddy, a former catcher in his playing days, say when 2 former catchers shake hands, it takes 10 minutes to pry them apart.
It did take us a second.
Yeah, it did. It did. How you feeling physically?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Doing great.
Attaboy.
Jeff Baker in a pinch hitting spot. Cubs in by far their best stretch of 2011.
I know, I got here just in time.
Yeah, you did. Fly ball to center. It'll be Stubbs to make the catch. Baker hitting for Ramirez. As Mike Quade is going to make some late inning changes. Here comes Carlos Pena.
This looks a little bit more like a team that we kind of expected coming out of spring training. Right? You know, we kind of had high hopes, and it looks like they're trying to put it together right.
Jody, you know as well as anybody, when your starting pitching is good, everything tends to fall into place. And early this season, the rotation had some serious issues, but lately they've been throwing the ball extremely well.
When the starters do, giving you those good innings up front, takes a lot of heat off your bullpen too. That bullpen will tell on you.
All the parts work together, and unless you have a pitching staff like the Giants or Phillies, you're going to have to score some runs.
I don't know if you had a chance to see Tony Campana's inside the park home run last night, but it kind of reminded me of you, the way he was running the bases.
I would have been making a big turn at first.
Any inside the park home runs for you, Jody?
I hit some inside the park triples where anybody else would have scored. I hit a couple of balls on the AstroTurf that got away, and I got to third. My biggest claim to fame speed-wise is I was on second base and stole third standing up. Well, it was the bases were loaded and Leon Durham stole home, so I got third standing up on the triple steal there. So.
You didn't need to put that addendum on there. I'd have given you credit for it.
Third.
Yeah.
If it hadn't have been a TV game, I'd have left it.
Now, Beebe, you were with Dusty Baker when didn't he steal second, third, and home?
Yeah. I was the runner at first when he was the runner at third, and I broke for second, got caught in a rundown, and Dusty ended up coming down the third baseline to scoring and stole 3 bases in 1 inning.
The 3-1. Pena swinging away. It's a foul right at the plate. You threw out a lot of guys trying to steal in your time, but was that more fun than picking up a hit? I mean, how did you compare the two? What was better for you?
I tried to separate them. I felt like my first job was going out there and catching, calling a good game, and I could throw. So I was not quite good enough to shut them down completely. So they just kept trying. Benito back in those days, Santiago, he just shut them down. Nobody would go against Benito.
Well, as Pena hits it hard on the ground, and Votto will flip to Massett. Whenever an opposing base stealer steals a base these days, Bob just blames it on the pitcher.
It's always
anyway.
the pitcher's fault.
That's always the pitcher. That's what else could it be? I think that's where the game's really changed a little bit, and it may come back now a little bit more speed. Back in those days, it was the running error, and Bob and I just happened to be in the middle of it. I know I was talking to Keith earlier on the radio. I know this grass wasn't as short when the Cardinals came in here.
That's for sure.
The track team in disguise.
There's Zonk.
That was always a challenge, catching against those Cardinals teams under Whitey Herzog. I mean, they had great speed, guys that wanted to steal bases, and he would let them.
Had Jack Clark and Darryl Porter, the only two that wouldn't run.
Yeah.
Jody, always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by as the Cubs lead big late. Talk to you soon.
It's great to be back.
Thanks, Jody. At participating McDonald's for $1.89. Second man out of the bullpen as we look at Jeff Baker at third. Lefty John Grabo after Samardzija worked a 1-2-3 7th. It's Jay Bruce. And a fastball, strike one. It's great to see former Cubs Gold Glove catcher Jody Davis. '86 threw out 78 would-be base stealers. Bruce with a leadoff double here in the 8th.
Oh, and the thing about Jody Davis, Len, I don't know how much you had a chance to see Jody play during his playing career, but he had such a strong arm. I mean, it's not unusual to see a catcher with a strong arm, but I mean, his arm was so strong he didn't even have to get in a good throwing position. He would still gun guys out at second base based on that arm strength.
Ground ball to Barney off the bat of Cairo. Runner at third, now 1 out. And threw out almost half the runners who tried to steal against him in that Gold Glove season of '86. Made 141 starts behind the plate. He started 140 games 3 out of 4 years between '83 and '86 with the Cubs.
And like Jody said, that was back in an era when the stolen base was a big part of the game. Teams didn't wait on 3-run homers. They got guys on, they were going to be in motion.
Here's a 2-0 to Giannis. She pops it up with that runner at third, and Bruce will have to hold. Hernandez steps in 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 90. 89 or 90. That's where John Grable will sit with the Heat.
For the Reds, it looks like we're going to get to see their closer, Francisco Cordero. He has not pitched since the 29th. The Reds have been stumbling. There have not been save opportunities there for Coco Cordero. Dusty Baker just going to get him an inning of work here today.
Well, remember the note, and this was when the Cubs were trailing. Elias reporting Carlos Zambrano with an RBI and a win in the same game 37 times in his career. Well, this would be number 38. Remember, he hit a home run. It would be the 125th win of his career. That would put him in sole possession of 15th on the Cubs list. He would pass Claude Passot. That's a strikeout as Hernandez whiffs. Grabo gives up the leadoff double, but no runs. 11-3 in the 8th. Cap, how about this? Reed Johnson is a 6-hitter in the Cubs lineup. He is batting for the 5th time in this game, and he's led off an inning.
Wouldn't work out any better. I mean, if you have to pick somebody other than Starlin Castro to lead off an inning for you, Reed Johnson's not a bad second choice, and he's done it now 5 times in the game.
Now, the one guy's had a really rough day, but he won't care because it's about the team. Is Marlon Byrd has made the 3rd out of an inning 5 different times. But as you say, somebody has to make the outs.
Otherwise, the game would never end. Good unselfish team player, Marlon Byrd.
I would be surprised, especially in a 9-inning game, if a guy who didn't start in the leadoff spot led off as many innings as Reed Johnson has. Facing Coco Cordero, the Reds closer. Bob mentioned just getting an inning of work today. Normally, you know, it's nice to see the opposing team's closer in a non-save spot to get a look at his pitches, but the Cubs are very familiar with him. Now with the Reds and previously with Milwaukee. One hopper picked up by Giannis and one away. A ton of surprises. Everything hard from Cordero. And a good day for Soriano. 2 walks, 2 hits, 2 runs. Off of first, Votto battling the sun and able to make the catch.
And no shades for Joey Votto over there at first base, squinting up into that bright sunshine as he gets over near the tarp on the first base side, but looking into that big first baseman's mitt for the out. Why do guys hate flip down shades so much? Very few players in the major league that still use the old flip down sunglasses, and they were made for a day like this where the sun is in and out. Occasionally it'll be cloudy for an inning or two, and then the sun will come through for an inning or two. It's the old school. Miguel Cairo wearing the flip downs. I mean, I'll be the first to say they're not comfortable.
And they're not pretty.
No.
Well, are they supposed to be?
No.
Darwin Barney wears them. Alfonso Soriano has always worn them as a Cub. John Grabo's on deck. He was pretty efficient in the 8th. He might get the at bat and start the 9th on the mound. Nobody up in the Cubs pen.
Well, sure looks like it. Oh, watch out. Oh, boy. Well, only the fact that he turned away from that ball the proper way saved him from taking one off the dome right there. Always turn away from the pitch.
It was a fastball.
Man, how did that miss?
Comes back with a slider in the dirt, 2-2.
Get on there, Gio. I want to see John Graybo hit. He's got 5 major league at bats. 0 for 5. He struck out 1 time. He has put down a sacrifice bunt, but looking for that first knock.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. We will head to the 9th. Cubs looking for 7 in a row. They lead by 8.
Yonder Alonso with some problems in the left. Edgar Renteria with a nice diving stop, but then threw it past Joey Votto, and then Todd Frazier down at third base on a routine play pulls Votto way off the bag. So a lot of the Reds defenders back on their heels today. Outfielders took bad lines after balls that they didn't make errors on. Just a very sloppy defensive afternoon for Cincinnati.
Cubs have taken full advantage. Every pitcher's mistake have crushed during this winning streak. Fred Lewis with his second at bat. A called strike.
Hey, Len, a cool story this week out of Seattle. Young minor league player by the name of Kyle Seager, playing for the Tacoma Rainiers in the Pacific Coast League. Played a day game up there with the Tacoma Ball Club. Unfortunately went 0 for 5, struck out a couple times, but later that afternoon got the call from Jack Zarensik, the general manager of the Seattle Mariners, that he'd been called up to the major leagues. Now Tacoma's only about an hour from Seattle, so he jumped in his car, drove to the ballpark, got in uniform, and played in a big league game that night. Minor league game in the afternoon, a big league game that night. Pinch hit in the 8th inning and stayed in and played defense at third base.
3 for 23 in 8 games for Seager, S-E-A-G-E-R. Two the count. Here's the pitch. Shallow center. Bird hustling in. Made the catch. Nicely done by Marlon Byrd. A diving grab. Talked about a tough day at the plate, but pitching in on defense.
Boy, and in his time here in Chicago, I haven't seen a center fielder that makes that play coming straight in and leaving his feet any better than Marlon Byrd. That is not an easy play, but Marlon repeatedly has made tremendous diving catches coming straight in. in his heyday, in his physical prime, Andrew Jones was another guy that could make that play.
The most graceful diver,
yeah,
maybe in Major League history.
Great body control.
One count to Stubbs. Make it 1-2.
Good pitch right there. How the free swinging Drew Stubbs managed to lay off of that one. That was a nice slider by John Graybo right on the inside corner at the knees.
High that time, 3-2. It's like Ryan Hannigan is going to bat next, or Cordero.
Well, and this would seem to be the kind of game where you might think about calling a team meeting afterwards or pregame tomorrow just to kind of rally your troops if you're Dusty Baker. That pitch is taken just below the knees for ball 4. One of the valuable lessons I learned from Roger Craig, and Dusty Baker was a coach under Roger Craig in San Francisco as well, was you call your team meetings when you have your ace pitching the next day. If the team comes out and wins a game, and you usually have your best chance to win a game when your ace is on the mound, and looks like the meeting really sunk in. The players really took it to heart. I don't know about Bronson Arroyo tomorrow. He's done well against the Cubs in his career, but having a subpar season by his standards this year.
Randy Wells will go for the Cubs. Stubbs takes second without a throw. No steal. Change up in the dirt, 2-2. Pop up for Jeff Baker over third. 2 down. Fans will get up. Just under 42,000 here today. Vacated, but the slider caught the inside corner. Back with you here on CSN tomorrow, 12:30 pregame live. First pitch, 120. Base hit left field. 11-4 as Botto knocks in Drew Stubbs.
Second baseman number 21, Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier. Votto could easily take second if he chooses. He is not to this point. Cubs not holding him on. Well, why you wouldn't? If you're Joey Votto, still not running, that's a strike. 1-2. Votto goes this time, and it's fouled off.
What we got going tonight, partner? Hanging out with Dave Grohl and the rest of the Foo Fighters?
If you have an extra ticket, I will. We will see. Another 1-2 pitch, bounced foul. I just wish there were more going on around town.
Yeah.
You're hanging with ZZ Top tonight.
Dark dressed man.
One-two pitch, ground ball, Jeff Baker. Cubs win. 7 in a row. They pound the Reds today 11-4, and will go for the sweep tomorrow.